All right, this week we are telling narratives, which is writing narratives, which are stories. And these stories can come from anywhere. They could be things that you did over the weekend. They could be things that you did last summer. They can be holidays that you remember. But we are just retelling a story. Okay, let's go ahead and start by putting our date at the top, 2-17-21. Now remember, you're going to write on this side of your page for 15 minutes. If you don't finish writing all of the exemplar on this side of the page, that's okay. You're still going to hit stop or pause on the video, and then you're going to go write your own for 15 minutes on this side. So you're going to do a total of 30 minutes of writing all together today. Okay? Today your target is joining words. When we're talking about joining words, which is the same as yesterday, we are talking about words like and, but, or, and these words we are able to use to put two ideas, two sentences together to make one. Okay? So in my exemplar yesterday, in my sample yesterday, I said that I had gone hiking and I had picked up some rocks, found some rocks. Those could have been two separate sentences that I decided to join and put together. All right, we're going to draw our line and have 3 details in our story, okay, like a beginning, a middle, and an end. And on this side, you're going to tell me the setting, where the story takes place. Today, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. I'm going to talk about going to the park, okay? And when I went to the park, I went on the swings, I went on the slide, and I played in the sandbox. Remember that we want our plan to be super quick. It should not take you longer than a minute or so to write your plan and then to get to work. All right, so our first sentence we're going to write is our topic sentence. It's this over here. We're going to set the stage on where our story is. So I'm going to start over here with a capital letter. Say 1 with a capital O, touches the top and the bottom. N, down in a rainbow. E, finger space. D, touches the top and the bottom. A, don't pick up that pencil. Y. Y is like a V. It stays below the dotted line and then it goes down below. One day, I, capital I, it's me, I'm important, it needs to be a capital letter. Went, W, E, N, T. 2, T-O-2, the, T, H, E. T and H should touch the top and the bottom. The E should stay below the dotted line. To the park. When I write this lowercase p, I'm going to start at the dotted line. I'm going to go all the way down below my red line, and then I'm going to give it a belly. A, down and around. R, K. Oops, my pen's running out. Look at there's an R sound like a pirate that we're practicing this week. I love it. One day I went to the park. Period. That's the end of my thought. I need to make sure that I have a period to end my sentence. Now I'm going to say what I did first. First, here's my transition word with a comma. I went on the swings. And there's a joining word. I'm going to join 2 thoughts here. And I went high. High touch, those H's touch the top and the bottom here, lowercase, period. That's the end of my thought. Okay, so this is my first idea, swings. I make sure that that idea has a capital to start and a period to end. Okay, I'm going to move my book up a little bit. Next is slide, okay? So next, I still have some space here, so I'm going to continue to fill up this line. Next, with a capital N, touches the top and the bottom. E stays below the dotted line. X stays below the dotted line. T touches the top and the bottom, and a comma to go next. After next, because this is a transition word, okay? Tells my reader what is going to happen next to my story. Next, I went down the T-H-E slide. Slide has a magic E at the end. It makes that I say I in slide. At the end, I'm going to put my period. I could add a joining word if I wanted to put 2 ideas together, but I'm going to continue writing. All right, so I did my swing. I've talked about the slide. Now I'm going to go to the sandbox. Last, comma, I'm important. I have a capital letter for this word. Always. I went. Lowercase w, under the dotted line, a E, N, down in a rainbow, T touches the top and the bottom. I went. In, I-N, in, the, T-H-E, sand, and, sand has the word and in it, very cool. In the sand box, B touches the top and the bottom, it goes away from this D over here, O stays below the dotted line, X. Now I'm going to add another joining word, this time I'm going to say but. B touches the top and the bottom. U, stay below the dotted line. T, but. Next word, I, capital I, I'm talking about me, I'm important. Capital I did not. Did. D touches the top and the bottom. I, D. And actually, I'm going to choose to change did not into a contraction word. So I'm going to do my N apostrophe T. But I didn't. Like touches the L touches the top and the bottom. I stays below that dotted line except for the dot. K touches the top and the bottom. I start at the dotted line. I kick in. I kick out. E. I didn't like the T-H-E sand. In. I-N in. My, M-Y, that Y is making the I sound, in my shoes. No, I did not. Last, I went in the sandbox, but I didn't like the sand in my shoes. So I used that connecting word, but. This last I went in the sandbox could have been its own sentence. I could have put a period here and started a new one, but I chose to use this joining word to put my two sentences together. Now I have a little bit of space here. I'm going to take this space to wrap up my story. I'm just going to say, I love the park. I am important, capital letter, love, L-O-V-E, the, T-H-E, park, P, this P stays below the dotted line, A, R, K, K touches the top and the bottom, kick in, kick out. I'm going to use an exclamation mark because I sure do love it. Now, when I'm finished, I need to go back. I need to make sure that each of my ideas has a sentence, and each of these sentences starts with a capital letter and ends with a period. Okay? Once I have checked my writing for capital letters and periods, I also need to check and make sure that I have my joining words. Okay? So here I go. One day I went to the park. Period. There it is. First, I went on the swings. Oh, here's an and. There's my joining word, and I went high. Next, I went on the slide. Now, this sentence didn't have a joining word, which is okay. I just need to make sure I have my target once or twice in my story or in my writing. All right. Last, I went in the sandbox, but I didn't like the sand in my shoes. Ugh, who does, right? I love the park. All right. Now, remember, I want you to go ahead and write your own on this side. Please send a picture of both the exemplar, which is my teaching you how we're writing, and your own writing for today. Okay? We're writing narrative stories with joining words using and, but, or, taking two sentences and putting them together.